showcase who you are, not sort of a model shots don't work. I mean, we have so much data that proves these headshots, people swipe left and they get weird reactions because we can smell fakeness in photos. And you think about how many photos we look at today on a given day, and our ability to interpret data in photos and meaning in photos is on an unprecedented level than any generation before us.
So tell us, Sean, then, bad ones. So you see a lot on Tinder, group shots.
Yep.
How do group shots do?
They, depending on the group shot, it might get someone to open your profile, but then they might look further to figure out whose profile it is, so it's not the most effective thing. But there's more than the photos. So statistically, if you have a bio, if you take the space that we give you to write about yourself, you're way more likely to get a quality match and get matches. We just launched the ability to add your anthem on your profile, so your favorite song. When you think about music, it's a huge indicator of our personalities, and we meet. A lot of the ways we meet is around music. The music playing at the restaurant that we're in, the bar, and throughout your relationship, music is sort of a big part of your life.
What's your anthem, very quickly?
My anthem is "These Are the Days" by Van Morrison. It's just a little classic. But you look at, so there's all these different tools, and Instagram on your profile and everything that we've provided our users to really showcase who they are. And the more you complete your profile, the more matches you're going to get, and the better experience you're going to have. And that is just absolutely true, and it's exponentially better the more you have.
So we don't have information like, for example, picture of you with animals, picture of you with sporty image.
Yeah.
We don't know specifics.
It's harder to gather and produce data around imagery. Machine vision isn't as advanced as it needs to be, but we do know things like certain, and we've published a lot of this data, like what kind of jobs that people put on their profile get more likes versus less likes, and it varies by where you are in the world, and so there's fun data that we collect around this, but ultimately, like rule of thumb, be yourself, use the tools we give you to showcase who you are, and that will lead to success.
And so obviously there are cultural nuances. 196 countries?
Yes, Tinder has tens of millions of users, active users, in over 196 countries. So we're really the dominant player across the world.
And obviously, Sean, you're innovating all the time. One of the things that you do is you test, don't you? But you test in Australia.
Yeah.
Why?
I think it's we had to pick a market that traditionally is very early to adopt features. Australia is one of those markets for us. It's also where, when we were first growing, we had a great team on the ground in Australia that is still there. And, I think it's just a great place for us to launch things, test it, get both the quantifiable data, but also the anecdotal feedback from users, so we sort of can make better decisions.
And do you have any features which work in certain territories, which you are surprised don't work in others?
No, actually, it's been amazing to see that a lot, and I think this is a testament to us getting to the core of what people want, that it's universal. A lot of the things that we've done at the core are universally successful all over the world, but then there's optimizations that we would make. So, there's obviously at the simplest level, it is localizing the language inside the app to every market, but then there are nuances to every feature, and the content you find within the app, whether it's Tinder social and you're going out, and the options you have to display what you're doing tonight, all of those have to be localized.
So, you're 30 now. Even at the Websummit, you look around, there are a lot of young people, a lot of brilliant, smart young people. How much pressure do you feel? Or do you ever feel like, I'm never going to come up with this good an idea again?
It's a lot of, I think it's a lot of pressure. And I think the same thing is true now at the size that we're at. that was when we were first starting. It's the same sort of, I think, path to success, which is you have a hypothesis, you test, you create an environment where it is okay to fail, as long as you're learning from that failure and can apply it to growth. So I think, our culture is one of really listening to our users, listening to the employees and the ideas that they have, and they very much represent our users and they're at the foreground. And then creating an environment where people can go out and innovate and try new things and experiment, and some will win and some will fail. But the important thing is we learn from that failure. And that is absolutely true as a startup. What you set out to do is never what, almost never what you end up doing in a startup, but you have to have clear direction, and you have to have the ability to be honest and learn from the failure and apply it.
At what point do you decide, Sean, to give up on something? At what point do you know this isn't working anymore, we've got to move, we've got to try something else? How long will you give a feature or a product?
It really varies. We have things that we're doing like Tinder Social that are, to us, bigger picture things that we want to achieve, that we are confident.
Can you just explain Tinder Social?
So Tinder Social is a new product that we launched that allows you to connect with other people going out tonight. So groups of friends that are going out tonight. And it's a great way to go out with Tinder and meet people in the real world, and sort of, it's part of our effort to get you off the app into the real world, because at this point, it's when it comes to making new connections, right, which is really the start. I think we've fundamentally changed how people make new connections around the world, and we've created 20 billion new connections, and we are the leader there. But the next, what comes after? Anyone can get on Tinder and in a matter of minutes get a match. But what comes after is getting to know the match and making that just as easy, and then planning a date, getting into the real world and making that just as easy. So I think the thing that we obsess about these days is how can we complete the narrative, and how can we help nurture, I think, a match from just a conversation to potentially meaningful relationship.
So do you ever see, Sean, kind of men and women going through Tinder, and you can see, and you're getting frustrated going, you're not going to meet any of those people? Like, has that ever happened to you?
I think we do that in life. You walk around and you see people that, unfortunately, we don't have the courage and strength to go talk to, or it's not the right time, and we're never going to meet those people, probably. And that's a relationship we might miss. But we resurface people that we think you should give another consideration to. So definitely when you swipe left, it's someone's less likely to come back, but they're not never going to come back. And then there's other products where our user base resurface with Tinder Social and some other products.
So what you're saying is the algorithms, basically someone can resurface.
Everything we do on Tinder is helping us, giving us a data point to make a better determination on who is a great match for you. We take the explicit signals you give us, some of the data we pull from Facebook, but also the behavioral and implicit signals. What you're doing on Tinder, who you're swiping on, who you're having a long conversation with versus a short conversation with. We take into consideration all of this.
So that, you would say, because you're right, you kind of own connections, you know what you're doing there. The biggest challenge for Tinder at the moment is getting people to meet.
Yes, I think, we started this company because, at least, I want to live in a world where we go out and meet face to face in the real world, and we socialize, and we create moments instead of always posting about them. Yeah. So I think Tinder's mission is to really create real world relationships and get you to go out and experience the world and not stay inside of your app. So this has always been a mission for the company, but we sort of did the first step, which is create the new connection. And now the next step is, get to know your match and make it easy and fun to get to know your match, and then make it easy and fun to plan a date, go out with friends, and get out in the real world.
So let's talk about those matches then. So 11 billion.
20 billion now.
20 billion now, it changes all the time. Do you know how many long-term relationships or marriages?
We don't. It's hard to quantify. Obviously, because there's no tool in the app that says that we are married. But I mean, anecdotally, from surveying our users, we know it is a significant number of new marriages stem from a Tinder connection. I get bombarded every day. I think I showed you one time, there's all my social media, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, if I open it, every day I'm getting messages about people saying how they met their love of their lives and, you know, love stories and...
Have you got anything you can share with us?
I don't know, just literally pull up, probably.
Because it's kind of every couple of days, because you're on Tinder, you will find out from people, I met my wife,
Yes, and it's the whole team. I mean, we get inundated.
Do you get invited to the wedding?
All the time. I can't.
Have you ever been?
No. I would love to go, but it's Tinder is enough for every minute of my life. It consumes every minute of my life. There's enough work to do to last a lifetime. I just picked a random one. Dear Sean, thanks for the wonderful app Tinder. I found my love after 27 years. We are very happy and so in love. We're going to marry on 28th of May this year. I recommend Tinder to everyone. Many of my friends have found their love. I saw you on Dutch TV, this person's Dutch, and wanted to show you a photo of me and my pumpkin. Love it.
And that, by the way, is genuine. That's not blank screen. I can see that.
Yeah. Instagram has been great to get users who can message us, send us photos, and
what about, because you're still on Tinder, did you ever date anyone from Tinder?
Yeah, I've had a long-term relationship from someone I met on Tinder.
Early on?
Early on, yeah.
So you are still on there now?
I use it, you know, I don't really have time to go out. You know, I think I pick to spend my time at the office with the team, but I use it to talk to our users and get feedback. It is the most effective tool to just match with our users, and you know, I try many times throughout the day to just ask a bunch of our users directly inside the app, you know, what can we do better? How do you like this experience? Tell me everything. And all the, you know, data that we have, I think, pales in comparison, at least for me, to hear a story from a user about what we're doing well versus what we're doing wrong, because it really allows us as a team to empathize with human beings that we're building for.
So who do you choose? Who do you get in contact with? I mean,
I'll swipe right often and just basically match with different kinds of users and ask different questions. And,
okay.
So as traveling is fantastic. Like being in Lisbon right now is great because I get to talk to, match with the people in Lisbon in the app, and so I think it's great to get a global perspective on what we're doing well versus where we need to improve.
And so the lady that we talked about, Dr. Jess,
yeah.
who's your sociologist, tell me about that, because you actually matched.
Yeah, we matched, I think it was 3.5 years ago. And she was telling me about herself, and she was saying how she has she's graduating from UCLA at the time and getting a PhD in sociology, and she was explaining how she's blown away and thinks Tinder is remarkable and cares about these topics. And I was just like, great, you want to come to the office and interview for sociology role? We didn't have the role, but I loved so much what, you know, the things she was saying and how thoughtful she was about the product and the future of the product was just, I knew we needed that talent at the time.
So people can kind of pitch jobs to you via Tinder?
Yes. I mean, throughout the whole Tinder team, we've made many hires for people we've matched.
Have you read it?
Yeah, it's become a very effective recruiting tool for us.
And how, because I know there is rapid expansion at Tinder. Tell me the growth of the team in the last couple of years.
We've doubled in size the last year. We just opened up an office in Palo Alto, expanded our engineering team. Most of the growth is engineering. And it's awesome because there's so much we want to do.